Guy to do that than Trey. He's just been an absolute pro.
So he's a good motivator for the rest of the group too. I mean, right now.
There's no doubt. It's not even with his words, just his actions. I mean, we in the scrimmage Saturday, a couple of other backs went down, not the top three, and he literally had a chance for 118 graded opportunities, and he had 107 pluses, and that means he played about 58 snaps in the scrimmage, which is a lot of plays in the heat.
How do you feel?
He's from Texas, so I guess you know him from then. But the second time around, how did that work out?
He loves football. He just loves football. I was at another university when he was coming out, so I didn't recruit him as hard. But Coach Craddock had recruited him hard when he was at SMU. So they had a relationship. I knew of Trey just from being at another university watching him. But when I went back and watched his high school video, it just screamed how much he loved football. And Coach Craddock had recruited him and known him, so he knew how much he loved football as well. And that's some kids are really good at football. They don't necessarily like football. He really loves football. When he's not out there with us, he's watching it, he's talking about it. It's just what he loves to do.
So did he reach out to y'all because of this?
Yeah, he wanted after he'd already transferred, and he reached out to us, and we were glad to take him on board.
Jeff, the run game 1 year ago till now, what have you seen in advancements? How can you be better?
Last year we were just trying to get the install in, so we weren't really good at the details of it. I mean, you can just go back and watch our games. Our track steps were all over the place. There was no consistency. We're just really trying to clean up our details of our work. And, our ball security wasn't bad last year, but there was still a lot of instances where the ball was loose. We just got lucky and didn't fumble it. We're trying to clean that up. Our track steps, the way we fit up on our pass protection, not so much – we were very successful in our pass protection last year, believe it or not, from our position, but the way it looks, the technique of it, the small things, just the details of it. We're really trying to get, just finer in our work.
Rakeem said he's been watching film with the offensive linemen and stuff. I mean, that's got to help with him just coming in at the start of camp last year.
Can't say enough about him right now. I don't think you ever heard me comment about his practice habits last year. He was very talented. He was very good. But he is, in his last 3 days, we haven't got today's results back yet, personal best and his highest percentage of yards of just effort. He was at 70% of his max, or the highest, 3 days in a row. And I would be surprised if he wasn't for 4 days in a row today, which he's never had that. He's been the top guy in our room now 3 days in a row. And Debois and Chase won't want to see this when it gets put out there. But Rakeem's done that. And I hope today was day 4. I really do for him.
At what point did he kind of come clean about how bad his shoulder was bothering him?
After the season.
So
I called him soft. Everything you can say as a coach, to motivate somebody. And then you find out he's got a torn labrum and a rotator cuff. And I went from 6'3" to about 4'10" in a day. I felt terrible. I love the kid. I spent a lot of time with him through the years, and he's tough young man.
How did the turnover count go today? Did you guys get the belt, or
We turned it over quite a few times today. So belt went back to Coach Chief and the defense.
Mostly picks, or were there any fumbles in there?
No fumbles on my field. I don't think there were any fumbles on the other field. We've got two split practices going right now, so our reps are incredible, which I tried to tell Coach Morris, that does give us twice the opportunities for turnovers, but he didn't want to listen to me as assistant head coach, which means I get suggestions. He's head coach. He makes all decisions.
It's got to be intriguing to think about the possibilities of being able to plug 3-4 running backs in. How do you look at that?
I don't know how many coaches in the country, Power 5, have their top 3 backs returning. So I'm extremely blessed. And not that they're returning on the depth chart. All 3 played major important minutes last year. Unfortunately, 2 of them missed significant time because of injury.
Would you like to come in this media room more frequently?
I don't. I don't. There's some things about being a head coach I miss. We'll just leave it at that.
Assistant head coach, you should be able to, come on in here.
When we get to winning again, I'll be the first one in here.
when you look at you get a bird's eye view of the offensive line from last year and this year.
Yes,
what do you see differences in that?
Just our depth. I mean, I was a head coach for 15 years, and my brother was my offensive line coach, so I empathize with Coach Fry. I look at things from a little different perspective, probably. But when you're a coach, you can only motivate so much when there's no potential threat for a backup. And, I love my wife. There's probably great potential for somebody to take my spot. I'm on my best behavior all the time. Well, the offensive line, there was really no way he could. Those guys were motivated. I mean, he's a very self-motivated human. But it's still, when you know you're the only one out there, it's just hard. And when you practice, I mean, how do you really practice if you're so terrified one of them's going to get hurt? You're almost practicing the whole time going, watch your step. I mean, be careful. You can't get better at football that way. So now we've got 16 to 17 linemen out there, and we're still nervous. We don't want anybody to get injured. But we've got 8 or 9 going on one field and 8 or 9 going on another field. And I think it's going to really help us game 6 on when things just start happening in this league, that at least the guy that goes out there has played significant steps and reps and been graded under a high pressure back in August.
Jeff, you got to have a plan to rebuild in the SEC. What have you seen of what Chad and where y'all are in that process?
2 things, our D-line and O-line depth, and just our commitment to our culture, to really everybody buying in. And I know it's the most overused word in college football history right now, but this team really is bought in. We're extremely young, but the message Coach Morris is speaking, they're repeating and they're living it. And that's been the biggest difference. D-line, O-line, and obviously we recruited some really good skill kids we were very excited about. We're going to be leaning on them quick, and that's a little scary, but it's also a blessing.
Any big hitters?
Could change from now to December, and it could change from December to February. But how many do you go into the recruiting class trying to sign running backs?
We on our board we have 1-2, meaning if we lose one, we're going to take one, which we have the commitment, and if we were to lose another, we'd take 2. So I'm in constant communications with other backs. I've been very upfront with them, and then we'll just see how this thing plays out. But I'd say 1-2, what it says on our board.
But Trey is the plus there, right?
Yeah.
But
we've already got him in the number, so we're still 1-2, including Trey.
Any big hitters today? Big plays, runs or passes?
We had a great throw and catch. We worked some situations today at the end of the game. Man, we had a great throw and catch there for a touchdown. That was a big play. And, I was on the turf field today, so I only saw Rakeem and Devois and Trey the whole day. I haven't got to grade it yet. And on the other field, the other 3 backs today. So,
who got the touchdown?
I would hate to comment on that because I'm not for sure. I was watching our protection on the play. I just know it was a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch. So I'd rather let it's either. I don't want to comment because I don't want to spread a rumor. It's not true.
Some live work today?
A lot of live work. I'd say we had it was third day and probably 25 minutes, 30 minutes of live tackling. And I know all the running backs left the field walking, so it's a good day for me.